6 points in the fourth quarter, out-dueling LeBron James and snatching Game 1 from the much-favored Miami Heat. At the time, Durant was just 24, and his Oklahoma City Thunder were way ahead of schedule. LeBron was the one with much more to lose if the series didn't go his way, but KD didn't care. He was ready to take the lead for himself. But fast forward to 8 years later, and things didn't exactly turn out the way most people expected for KD. Before anything else, what's up guys, it's Nico here, and in this video, I'm going to be telling the harsh truth about Kevin Durant. He won 2 championships. Yes, he even took home an MVP trophy. But it's an open secret, not everyone respects Durant. His rings are what he did to dictate his legacy. One of the main reasons why people are so split on KD in the first place is because he really is just so damn good to begin with. He famously coined the term unicorn when he described Kristaps Porzingis as such in a tweet once. But Durant is probably the biggest unicorn in NBA history. He's 7 feet tall. Don't believe what 2K says that he's 6'9". He can handle the ball like a guard, has above average athleticism, and is one of the most efficient shooters in NBA history. His career averages on paper are already absurd. 27 points, 7.1 rebounds, 4.1 assists on nearly 50-49 splits. But actually watching him just feels downright unfair. With the way his body is built, it's really easy for him to shoot over anybody, much like Dirk Nowitzki could. But he can also take it coast to coast for a fast break dunk just like Giannis does now. KD is basically the creative player you would make when you're bored, complete with the height of a center and maxed out stats. KD's career mark of 27 points a night ranks the 6th highest points per game total in NBA history. He also has the 8th highest career player efficiency rating of all time at 25.2, putting him on a short list with LeBron, MJ, and Shaq. The only person in the league who could match up to him was the very same opponent he went toe-to-toe with during the 2012 finals, LeBron James, who at the time was vilified by the league for a highly publicized free agency decision of his own. 2010 for the NBA is best known as the year of LeBron James' much maligned debacle known as the decision. At the time, it was perceived as the Kings' televised heel turn. LeBron James failed to deliver a title to his hometown Cavaliers, so he spurned them for some of his superstar friends in South Beach. He went with a bigger market, with better teammates, in pursuit of an easier way to pad the numbers behind his legacy while he still had time. But on July 7, 2010, just a day before the decision aired, another decision was announced by an all-world talent. Kevin Durant nonchalantly tweeted out that he was staying with OKC for 5 more years, signing an extension to stick with the Thunder long-term. That juxtaposition only reinforced what was a commonly accepted notion at the time, that Kevin Durant was loyal, soft-spoken, and content with playing in a small market. Durant was widely beloved and considered by many as undoubtedly the nicest superstar in the league, especially relative to his ferocious level of talent on the court. So much so that Nike even launched an entire marketing campaign on how Kevin Durant is secretly not nice, because it was that absurd to think otherwise. With LeBron branded as a sudden supernova heel, Kevin Durant was gradually groomed to be the face of the league in more ways than one. That's exactly one of the reasons why his own departure from Oklahoma City was even more shocking to the collective sports world as a whole. He fell from such good graces into a pit of disdain even deeper than the one LeBron dug for himself in 2010.
Ready for a pass.
What's ironic about KD joining the Warriors is that, just like LeBron, he did it to win a ring or two for his legacy. But unlike LBJ, Durant might be the only major athlete in the history of sports to have lost respect when he started winning championships. The 16-17 season experience in following Kevin Durant was very odd to say the least. As expected, a lot of people outside Oakland hoped the Warriors would lose for Durant's own sake, just to make it feel like what we were watching wasn't some overpowered NCAA Division I squad facing off against lower-seeded teams from the Sun Belt Conference. But unfortunately for KD, that's exactly how it felt. We all know about how he joined the 2016 Warriors, the greatest regular season team in NBA history. But it's worth looking into what extent was Kevin Durant actually needed on the team, and what part of his talents were superfluous for the squad. After all, they did really lose to the Cavaliers, and weren't as invincible as their 73-9 record made it seem. Among the 138 lineups since 2000 that have logged at least 500 minutes played, the top 3 are all from the Golden State Warriors. Obviously though, that's to be expected. Let's focus on just the famous Warriors lineups. When you look at this list, what's surprising is that the Hamptons 5 lineup featuring Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala, and Kevin Durant only placed 3rd with a plus 19.9 net rating per 48 minutes. At 2nd place was a combination of Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond, Andre, and Harrison Barnes, which outscored opponents by 20.6 points per 48. Placing first on the list by just a few decimals was a lineup that had Andrew Bogut in instead of Harrison Barnes. Looking at the ranking, you might be tempted to say that the addition of KD didn't exactly move the needle that much for the Dubs. The pre-Durant lineups actually fared better even, but it just goes to show how unnecessary he was for the team in general. Adding a top 3 player did little to change the relative strength of the team, mainly because they were already close to maxing out. It wasn't just the eye test or on paper. The numbers really bear it out as well. Also, the fact that they went on to the KD version of that lineup for so few minutes compared to the aggregate of their 2 strong pre-KD lineups shows just how little of their hand they had to utilize to dispatch any and all challengers. There's little to no doubt that Kevin Durant took the easy way out during his stint with Golden State. I'm sure many of you believe that already, but in the end, he was still a free agent at the end of the day. Whether we like it or not, he still had the full freedom to choose where he wants to go. It's his career, and he's just looking out for his legacy. NBA fans from all over reacted in different, mostly negative ways upon finding out about Kevin Durant's decision to move to the Bay Area. But deep down, a part of the anger and disgust is because we had such high respect for Durant in the first place. We love seeing him lead the contending squad against some of the league's best players, Golden State included. We would anticipate his marquee matchups against CP3's Clippers or James Harden's Rockets. Even if you were a fan of another team or player, Durant always provided a front row seat to witness the transcendent talent in action. One of the narratives back then was always that Russell Westbrook was holding KD back because Russ kept the ball away from him too much. Maybe Westbrook should be traded for a player that can complement Durant more. We would argue these things because we wanted to see the full, unadulterated ability that Kevin Durant possessed, simply because we all can acknowledge and appreciate greatness. We all watched in 2016 as he led his Oklahoma City Thunder to a 3-1 lead against arguably the greatest regular season team of all time. Thunder fan or not, you can't deny that the potential upset made you excited to see what levels he could elevate his game to, especially in a potential NBA Finals rematch with LeBron James. But with every 3 that the Splash Brothers drained during the 4th quarter of Game 6, our image of Durant reaching newfound heights was slowly being chipped away until it was all gone. The harsh truth about Kevin Durant is that he isn't who we thought he was. What made Kevin Durant so polarizing is the fact that he's so much more human than we expected him to be. Mainly because he's so superhuman on the court. He wasn't the nice, soft-spoken superstar who would only let his game do the talking at all times. We just expected him to be that way. That was the image of Kevin Durant that we have in our heads. Instead, Durant has shown that he's the type of person who would make fake Instagram or Twitter accounts just to defend himself in online arguments. He would beef with NBA analysts, former teammates, or even total randoms just to prove a point better left unsaid. Neither did he end up as the loyal small market franchise player that vowed to stay in one city for life. He didn't end up good enough to lead his team to a title, no matter how close he got in 2012 and 2016, because the bottom line is, his team still lost. We just thought and partly hoped that he was great enough that he can bring OKC back to the promised land once again. Because he is Kevin Durant after all. Instead, he went on to the path that made him happy at the time, but led to a couple of no-sweat championship rings. All in all, Kevin Durant will still go down as one of the all-time greats. But we all just know deep down, we expected more from someone who showed so much promise so early in his career. It's not too late for Kevin Durant to redeem himself though. He's still just 31 years old and can lead this new, less overpowered Brooklyn side to a deep playoff run next year. It might be tough recovering from an Achilles injury, but we have seen a few star players like Dominique Wilkins return to full strength before. Even though he's reportedly not going to play in Orlando when the league potentially restarts, there have been reports that Durant has been healthy and practicing behind closed doors and is looking as dominant as ever. With the next season set to resume in December, KD will have more than 18 months worth of rest and rehab to get back to full strength. If Kevin Durant can regain his form as a top 5 player, maybe he can assert his dominance on an Eastern Conference that no longer has proven champions like LeBron James or Kawhi Leonard waiting on the wings. I'm sure we all want nothing more than to see him playing up to his capabilities once again. But after so many twists and turns, whether he can rewrite his story while he still can, definitely remains to be seen. Let me know in the comments below if you guys like more videos such as this. Don't forget to drop a like if you want the NBA to come back already. I'm always taking suggestions on what topics I should do next. Consider subscribing and clicking the notification bell icon so you will be the first one to know whenever I upload a new video. Once again, this is Nico. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals, and the Denver Nuggets are down 1-0 to the top-seeded Lakers. Playing their second game at Staples, LA has already built up a 14-point lead early in the second quarter. Coach George Karl calls a timeout as things are starting to unravel in a hurry for the Nuggets. But then, coming off the break, Carmelo Anthony catches fire. It starts off with one of his signature pull-up jumpers from 18 feet. The next possession, he takes and makes another one, and then another one. All of a sudden, Melo scores 14 straight points for the Nuggets, single-handedly keeping his team in the game as they close the half, trimming the lead to just 1. Anthony ended the game with 34 points, his 5th straight playoff game with at least 30 at that point. But more importantly, his Nuggets evened the series at 1-1, stealing home court advantage away from the heavily favored Los Angeles Lakers. It was a brief moment of vindication for Melo, who at 24 years old was then branded as a regular season scorer who hadn't achieved any playoff success. But try as he might to erase that label, Melo could never escape this fate. He goes on to shoot an abysmal 32% from the field for the rest of the series, losing in 6 games to the eventual champion Lakers. Such is the matinee career of Carmelo Anthony. The fact that his greatest season of playoff success reads more like a season to forget is a reflection of the kind of player that he is. I won't sugarcoat anything when I say that Carmelo Anthony's overall career has been a disappointment. Hey guys, it's Nico. In this video, we'll be examining the reasons behind why many consider Melo as a massive underachiever throughout his career, despite the fact that he seemed to have the numbers, the skills, and the ego of a superstar. Looking at his career in hindsight, it's easy to see why Melo gets such a bad rap. But that hasn't always been the case. Carmelo Anthony used to be a consensus winner. At least that was the narrative back in 2003. Coming off his only year at Syracuse, Carmelo Anthony was one of the most sought-after prospects in the 2003 class. Nowadays, dominant one-and-done freshmen in the NCAA are more expected rather than surprising. But the early 2000s were a totally different time. Not only did Melo lead his team as a freshman, putting up averages of 22 points and 10 rebounds per game, he carried them all the way to an NCAA championship. During the lead-up to the 2003 draft,
life is full of challenges, but you don't have to pad thai them alone. Talk to your pad thai today to find out if pad thai is right.
Most scouts really felt that there were 2 main headliners that stood above the rest, Carmelo and LeBron James. despite being overlooked by the Pistons for, oh yeah, this guy. There were legitimate arguments being made that he even deserved to be taken first overall, and that he would have been the consensus #1 in almost any other draft. Carmelo validated the buzz very early on in his career. During his first year with the Nuggets, he orchestrated one of the greatest season-to-season turnarounds in NBA history. The Nuggets went from last in the West at a depressing 17-65 to a surprising playoff team at 43-39. That's a 26-game turnaround. By comparison, LeBron's Cavs were also 17-65 before his arrival and improved by 8 games less than the Nuggets, ultimately missing the playoffs. In their very first year in the NBA, Melo bested LeBron. But that wouldn't last long though. One of the biggest reasons why Melo's career is seen in such a bad light in the first place is because his star shined so bright so early in his career. This was a dominant scorer from Syracuse who bulldozed his way through the NCAA tournament for a title. A rookie sensation who led a historic single-season turnaround, revitalizing a despondent Colorado fan base. But in the NBA, the brightest lights always shine during the playoffs. And we all know that's when Carmelo Anthony's star fades out.
Over here! I devised a viable strategy.
People give Melo the most heat for underperforming in the playoffs. That's why it's often surprising to note that Anthony actually made it to the playoffs in his first 10 seasons. But it's what he does when he gets there that's the...
That's how you do it. Y'all ready for this?
Here, please. I devised a viable strategy.
Racking up those assists.
Playing with you all is utterly stimulating.
Hey, y'all ready? Give it here. Check. Keep hustling, ain't over till it's over. Which way's it gonna go? Maybe next time, y'all. Today's MVP is...
Huh.
Y'all ready? Check. Hey, chip out, chip out.
Toss me an alley-oop.
Nice pass. You see that?
Can't believe I just
Full
did
on
that.
Defense right now.
open.
Can I get an alley-oop? Over
You
here.
stand still.
Not bad.
There you go.
Over here, honey.
I'll
Set
deal
me
with
up
this
with a
one.
Honey, you
dunk.
just floated over
right
here.
now. Hey, yo, nice rebound.
Honey, you just floated over here.
All right, impressive. Y'all ready?
I'm open.
Check.
Ball.
Over here.
From
I'm
downtown.
ready to dunk.
That's a big chip out.
Set me up with a dunk.
Keep it moving. Nice
Oh,
drop.
yeah.
I got the D.
Y'all ready? Go.
I'm totally open.
Ball.
From downtown. What a
Set me up with a
Lulu.
dunk. Set me
Going
up with
for
a
a jump
dunk.
shot. Oh, key rebound.
Can't believe I just
They
did that.
switching to the D.
Give me an alley-oop.
I'm open.
Nice
Over here.
pass.
Give me an alley-oop.
Going for the three-pointer. Oh,
That's how we do it.
That one.
y'all ready for this?
That was my
Go.
bad.
I'm ready to dunk. I'm ready to
Beating
dunk.
that
Give
deep.
me an alley-oop.
Never had any doubt.
Pretty.
I messed up.
Y'all ready?
Dish it to Lulu.
Go.
Honey, you just floated over here.
What's it gonna be, baby? Do
Took it
Got
down.
it.
Okay, that was nice.
Y'all ready for this?
I'm open. Over here.
Check.
Ah,
Ball.
Ready for a pass. I'm ready to
over
dunk.
here. I'm
All
totally
the way
open.
from downtown.
Never had any doubt.
Nice.
Y'all ready?
Honey, you just floated over here.
Set me up with a dunk.
Honey, you just
Blinky,
floated
you
over
might
here.
miss this one. You see that
Set
rebound?
me up with a dunk. Need an alley-oop. Dish it here, Holmes. Toss me an
That's
alley-oop.
how we do it.
Nice drive. Nice drive. Hey, y'all ready? Go.
Ball.
I'm ready
Can I
to
get an
dunk.
alley-oop?
Straight
Give me
racking
an
up
alley-oop.
those
I'm
assists.
open.
All
What
right.
it takes.
Oops. I messed up.
Y'all ready for this? Check.
Somebody call for a screen.
What's it gonna be?
Took it downtown.
Don't worry about this one.
Hey, y'all ready?
Over here.
Check.
I'm ready to dunk. I'm ready to dunk. I'm
You
ready
see
to
that
dunk.
steal?
me an alley-oop.
Catching some
Dish it
air.
here, Holmes.
Get down, baby.
Leave it to me.
Y'all
Ball.
ready?
I'm open.
I'm open.
I'm open.
Over here.
I'm open.
Dive. Long
Over here.
distance. Racking
Now
up
you're
those
just
assists.
showing
He's
off.
looking sharp.
Nice.
Swish.
Sorry about that one.
Hey, y'all ready? Go.
Dish it here, Holmes.
Oh,
Dish
solid
to
pass
Lulu.
Right there.
Now you just showing off.
Big rebound.
That's how we do it.
Looking good.
Not bad, amigos.
Y'all ready?
Over here.
Over here.
Check.
I'm totally open.
I'm ready
I'm
to
right
dunk.
here.
Y'all need a clutch. Final second.
Ready for a pass.
Okay, that was
Toss me an alley-oop.
Nice.
Set me up with a dunk.
nice.
Unbelievable. Y'all ready for this?
Ball.
Over
I'm
here.
open.
Go. Keep it. D's looking sharp. Dunked
Mission
it.
accomplished.
Way to go.
Y'all ready for this? Go.
Pass. I'm right here. Make
Over
it
here.
fast. Pass it
Blinky
here.
D's looking sharp.
Sweet move.
Nice.
Whoa.
pass.
Give me an alley-oop.
Oh,
Ready to
solid
dunk?
pass right there.
Is there a doubt? Sweet move.
Y'all ready for this?
Aki, I'm open.
Check.
Over here. I'm right here. I'm totally open. I'm right here.
Going
Pass,
for
pass.
solid D.
There we go. Never said I was perfect. Just them close.
Y'all ready?
Yo, kick it smooth. Yo, kick it
Go.
smooth.
Hey, yo, he flashing some nice
I'm open.
moves.
Done and
Nice
done.
drive, nice drive.
You take mine, I'll take yours.
Y'all ready?
Ball!
Over here.
Let's switch up, bro.
I'm right here.
Got this
Over
one
here.
covered.
Dialing. Alright, solid D, solid D. Oh, big rebound. Keep racking up those assists. You see that rebound?
Aki,
Nice
I'm open.
pass.
Done and done. Sweet move.
Y'all ready?
Aki, I'm open.
Check.
Alley-oop.
Shooting for three,
I'm open.
nothing's getting through.
Aki,
Racking
I'm
up those
open.
assists.
There we
This
go.
one's for
Sweet
the
move.
high.
Okay, that was tight.
Y'all ready for this?
Perfect. Pass it here.
Go!
I'm right here. Pass. Make it fast. I'm right here. Alley-oop.
You see that
Nice
steal?
move, for real. Give me an alley-oop.
Nice pass.
Ready to dunk?
Tip in. Oh,
What?
now
Y'all
Blaze is
stop
making
stealing.
it look easy. Y'all ready?
Over here.
Check.
Over here. I'm right here.
Make it
Nice
fast.
move, for
I'm right
real.
here. Pass.
Jump
pass.
My bad.
Make it fast. Pass it here. Pass it
Don't
here.
high, solid D, solid D. Oh,
Ball!
big rebound.
Aki, I'm open.
Going
We
for
need
goal.
more of that.
Bam.
You
Not
killing it.
happening. Going for a
There we go.
key. Y'all ready
Ball.
for this?
Over here.
Go.
Ball!
You see that steal?
We need more of
Ready to
that.
dunk?
Done and done.
Whatever it takes. Y'all ready?
Aki, I'm open.
Check.
Aki, I'm open. Aki, I'm open.
You see that steal?
Crushing
Sweet
it, man.
move.
Give me an
Keeping it
alley-oop.
moving.
That's one for us.
Y'all ready for this?
Make it fast.
Check.
Pass it here. Pass it here. Pass.
You
Pass.
see that steal?
I'm open.
Ready to dunk?
Blink, yo. Clutch rebound. Nice pass.
Was there a
Racking 'em
doubt?
up. Y'all ready?
I'm right here.
Go.
I'm totally open. Pass. I'm totally open. Make it fast.
Jump shot.
That's
Pass.
on me.
Pass.
Oh,
Pass.
rebound.
Over here.
Pass it here.
Shooting for three right now. What a rebound. Coming up straight, racking up those assists. Keep racking up those. Nice pass.
Okay, that was
Yeah,
tight.
knock it down.
Y'all ready? Go. You see that steal?
Give me an alley-oop.
There we go. Sweet move.
Nice move, for real.
You know what? That wasn't half bad. And here's the MVP of the match.
Heh.